Like, these animators are on shaky ground.
Yes, that's correct.
What happened with the actor strike? Did they settle that? Is that over?
This is Rachel Zegler. Her incredibly off-putting personality is not the only thing you will get out of Rachel Zegler while talking to her. She will remind you that she hates
With a bold political statement in support of Free Palestine, Rachel Zegler, the controversial lead in Disney's Snow White remake, has stoked the fires. This move has Disney executives in a panic, worried that the reaction might escalate into a full-scale boycott of the movie, and it seems that they have good reason to be concerned. After all, you get what you sow, and it seems that Disney is paying the price for its deeds. Given the chaos that has arisen around Rachel Zegler and Disney, even Joe Rogan felt compelled to respond. You heard right. Joe Rogan, who is known to discuss everything from UFC fights to alien hypotheses, has now turned his attention to Snow White. But before we get into his viewpoint, let's take a moment to reflect on how we got here. When Disney released the first Snow White teaser on YouTube in August 2024, it all started. What should have been a thrilling event quickly turned into a total disaster. The teaser became the most despised movie trailer in YouTube history in a matter of weeks after receiving over 1 million dislikes after just 68,000 likes. Disney faced a massive PR catastrophe as the video earned 193,000 dislikes on its first day alone. How about the comments? They were quite violent. I only came here after hearing on Facebook that this video had received over 1 million downvotes, and I truly wanted to join that group, one user joked. According to another, Disney, you are amazing. You spent 3 years, $29 million, several rewrites, and unnecessary computer graphics so that I might see the comment section of a movie that I will never see. May you be blessed. The feeling was clear. Fans were angry and disillusioned and ready to voice their opinions. So what was so terribly wrong? Critics point to a combination of questionable casting decisions and perplexing artistic decisions. Disney's first plan to replace the well-known seven dwarfs with a range of magical creatures was a complete failure when actors with dwarfism protested the studio for not include them. Disney tried to change the situation by using CGI characters. However, the results were awkward and lifeless, leaving fans to wonder how a live-action replica could seem less authentic than the animated original. But after that, the argument went on. The focal point of this storm is Rachel Zegler, who was chosen to play Snow White. Her casting first offered cautious optimism, but her comments about the original 1937 masterwork created a storm. Zegler questioned the romanticism in the original, describing it as spooky and odd, and saw it as being highly out of date in a resurfaced interview. Her comments touched fans who grew up adoring the beloved tale, and her disdainful tone only served to fan the flames.
You told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. And she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can't.
Fans saw these remarks as offensive to both the original writers and the generations who grew up with Snow White as a cherished aspect of their childhood. Disney seemed to adopt a more assertive posture in response to Zegler's comments, allowing her critiques to remain unchallenged, which outraged even their most loyal fans. In an effort to repair the damage, Disney sent Zegler on a press tour to promote the film. However, her attempts to backtrack are shown to be false. Fans weren't convinced by her sudden endorsement of the project, especially considering her prior publicly circulated complaints. In addition, her portrayal of Snow White in promotional materials seemed to be quite different from the lovable princess. Fans questioned why Disney had strayed so far from the character's charm, since Zegler's interpretation instead came off as haughty and condescending. Then there was another startling discovery. In a recent 2022 interview with Entertainment Weekly, Zegler said that the beloved animation had scared her so much as a child that she had not seen it for almost a decade. The remake would redefine the phrase "a fairest of them all" to focus on justice rather than beauty, she remarked, referring to the film as it concerns women. While some saw this as a modern variant, others saw it as just another attempt to damage the reputation of the original. On TikTok, viewers immediately reacted negatively, comparing Zegler's comments to those of Halle Bailey, who starred in Disney's The Little Mermaid. Bailey received recognition for her kind demeanor and for accepting her role while honoring the original story. In contrast, Zegler's disdainful manner appeared to downplay the significance of the original. The mindset was summed up in a single, generally accepted remark. Disney was successful in casting a Snow White character whose whole attitude during a promotional tour is, I detest Snow White. In the wake of Zegler's remarks, many have questioned why Disney would recruit someone who seemed to openly dislike the original premise. Many people are now curious as to how someone who disliked Snow White as a child and now seems to have reservations can portray one of Disney's most well-known characters. However, this debate isn't only being sparked by Zegler's comments. It focuses on what Disney's errors show about their approach to reimagining classic stories. There have been serious repercussions, and as Joe Rogan recently said, then she went on. Zegler portrayed herself as a victim of ongoing online harassment and framed her experience as an unfortunate consequence of being in the spotlight. She insisted that since she is an actor, people are always watching her, regardless of what she says or does. She groaned. However, it seems like Rachel Zegler has forgotten all she said since returning to the hot seat. Like clockwork, she has been stirring up scandal after controversy. Every few weeks, she says or does something that rekindles the outrage, making the next Snow White movie seem like a certain disaster. Following a recent political episode that clearly worried her, Zegler recently vented her rage on Instagram. Her statement that she was upset by Donald Trump's election triumph against Vice President Kamala Harris alienated a significant portion of the populace. She added, "I am speechless and heartbroken." In a since-removed Instagram story, "I hope that Trump's supporters, voters, and himself never experience peace. I should not be surprised, yet I am. I feel terrible for my pals, who woke up in fear this morning." Critics objected to this, labeling her a Disney issue and describing her comments as crazy. Some said that Zegler's presence hurt the brand and demanded that the company distance itself from her and put Snow White on indefinite hold. Zegler doubled down instead of backing down. In a later article, she criticized Trump supporters for holding on to a foolish confidence in intelligence, security, and masculinity, calling the election results an indication of a deep disease in the United States. Tension rose when she criticized Elon Musk without hesitation for allegedly meddling in the election. Additionally, she advised her fans to absolutely cease using X or Twitter. She said, "Please, stop using Elon's app." There was further debate as critics said she had gone too far and offended even moderate audiences. Of course, there are other issues that have generated debate than Zegler's political views. For instance, she is renowned for her theatrical reading of Britney Spears' tweets during the pop star's public spat with her sister, Jamie Lynn Spears. Zegler most likely intended it to be hilarious given the gravity of the Britney movement sans numbers, but Britney fans felt it was tone deaf. Not to add her well-known grievance that, despite playing the lead in West Side Story, which had 7 nominations, including Best Picture, she was not invited to the 2022 Academy Awards. Her social media outburst was seen as unprofessional by some, who expressed compassion, while others pointed out that many artists in similar situations handle similar situations more professionally. Considering all of these factors, Zegler continues to be a contentious figure in modern times. Fans and critics alike are left wondering if Disney would finally end its ties with the actress or whether it will carry out its ambitions. In relation to Disney, the company's efforts to minimize the Snow White issue continue to fail. A new trailer was recently released, but it was swiftly removed. After the first trailer garnered more than 1.4 million dislikes, the company could have been trying to avoid further criticism. However, the decision to delete the most recent teaser led to further speculation. The debate was exacerbated by leaked set photos from 2022 that revealed a controversial makeover of the Seven Dwarfs. Disney has faced criticism for supposedly pandering to political correctness by casting a diverse cast of performers with a range of heights and body types instead of the usual dwarfism characters. Disney later accepted the changes and said they had spoken with the dwarfism community to avoid perpetuating stereotypes. But damage had already been done. Nowadays, a lot of individuals openly preferred the evil queen rather than Snow White, with some people saying that the antagonist is more fascinating than the protagonist. Even former Disney Imagineers have expressed their disdain of the project. Some have suggested that the company should release the film on Disney Plus rather than in theaters to avoid further embarrassment. Joe Rogan shared this view as well. In order to escape the criticism, he suggested that Disney could be better off just publishing this on Disney Plus. Despite being a bold assertion, it makes more sense as the film's criticism grows. What's next for Disney and Rachel Zegler? Will the company continue to make the same choices in the hopes that the storm will pass, or will they finally part ways? So what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to Daily Finder.